It's always great to see the Korean Film Festival in Australia, and certainly in Melbourne from the 1st to the 5th of September at ACME. And it's my great pleasure to be speaking to the Coffea programmer for the Korean Film Festival, Francis Lee. Francis, welcome to Movie Metropolis again.
Hi, Peter. Thanks for having me again. And it's great pleasure to have a chat with you here again. Thank you so much.
Good to talk to you. And this is the 13th film festival I've read. Tell me, how is the Korean film industry progressing, considering the success of Parasite is a good example?
All right. Yes. Since the Parasite made a huge success, unfortunately, the COVID pandemic hits the Korean filmmaking industry, as everybody knows. And then past 2 years, it's been really tough time. So basically, the Korean film industry making over 600 films per year before the COVID pandemic. But for the last 2 years, they have only just 200 films per year for the last 2 years. And then you can see all the statistics that how the COVID pandemic impact on the Korean filmmaking industry. But I think the Korean filmmaking industry making great bounce back after the Korean COVID pandemic. So like this year, the Australian film fans can see that the lots of Korean films are officially released in Australia. For example, like last year it was Escape from Mogadishu, but this year like Hansan and like Roundup. Also, what is the emergency landing kind of stuff. So we are as you see, the Australian film fans can see the Korean films officially released in Australia, and then Korean film industry definitely has come back to on the right track. So we're doing pretty good.
That is very good to hear. And yes, it's so interesting how the world is recovering from the pandemic and the film industries in particular, making more films. Now, I've seen Escape from Mogadishu, and even though it's not playing in Melbourne, I noticed, but that's a very strong film and a great part of the festival, especially watching the North and South Korea trying to work together to escape from Somalia.
Yeah. That is kind of based on true story, as you know. And then I heard from the interview from the ambassador while he was staying in Somalia over there, and it was really intense. As I was hearing about his whole story, it was much more intense than the film shows that.
Yes. Okay, good. Now let's talk about the films that are playing in Melbourne. And you've already mentioned The Roundup. That's a film I've heard a fair bit about.
Yeah. Roundup is the series called like Bamjedoshi in Korean. So this is the second episode of the movie, and then this is also like partly based on true story that like rich people goes to Eastern Asia country to build their business up. But like the Korean gangs staying in like Eastern Asian country, for example, Vietnam or Thailand or Philippines, they kidnap those like entrepreneurs and then making them as a hostage to get some ransoms. But like in Korea, we have so many victims every year, and this story is about like back in 2008. I can't say this is like 100% true story, but it does contain like a 70% of true story as well. So, but the concept of the movie is kind of like cruelty, like what's that? It sounds really violence and crime and also vicious action, but like it does also have a little bit of comic in it. So humor and comedy in it. So the audience will see like a lot of spectacular action scenes as well as like lots of funny story in it. So I'm pretty sure the audience will enjoy it.
Okay, and that's an interesting question. How do you decide which films are going to be shown as part of the Korean Film Festival in Australia?
it was really hard because when I was programming the film lineup, it was still on impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. So I had not many options to choose for the film festival, but I tried to get like as many genres as I can. So like still there's actions and crime and noir and mystery and romance and romantic comedy and that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was hard, it was tough job, but like I hope it will get better for next year also in the future film festival.
Sure, no, I do understand. Another film I've heard a lot about is a film called Broker.
Broker, yeah. I think the Australian film fans know Broker well because it got awarded in Cannes and then also like lots of famous actors acting in the Broker as well. And it's the concept of the storyline of the movie is a bit like desperate, but when you see the synopsis, when you read the synopsis, you feel like, oh, this is kind of sad story and this is the kind of gloomy story. But the director Koetaro makes it that story as a brighter future. Like you can see the brighter future in the end of all the story ends, and it describes the human being as a human being. It's beautiful human nature creature, nature creature, and also you can feel lots of humanity in it, and then you will see how people live together although they are committed to crime, but they try to commit to crime, but like you can see a little bit of humanity between all the characters, and then this is really beautiful story. And then I hope as many film fans in Australia as see this movie, but this session is already booked out, so it's a shame.
Okay. I expect the film will get some sort of release after the festival. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, excellent. Now, another one I've heard about is Decision to Leave.
Decision to Leave. When I watched this movie first time, and like I was amazed by the cinematography. But of course, the story of the film is very important. But storyline, yeah, you definitely can follow the storyline of the movie. But I can't think about the storyline because the cinematography was too beautiful. And like, what was there? What was there? And then you even like I think like I was seeing the piece of art every single different seconds. And like the story is also well made. And then the signature of director Park Chang-wook's cinematography is well melted in that movie. So this is perfect. This is masterpiece movie. And I wish also like lots of Australian film fans could watch it, but this one is also booked for our session.
Talking about films that people can't go and see anymore.
Yeah, but like it's going to be officially released soon. I believe so. So yeah.
Right. Okay, but still, that's great that it's already films already booked out. So
yeah,
people want to see these films at Acme, which is great. I noticed that it's the opening film Special Delivery.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about that. Yeah.
The Special Delivery is it's very extraordinary. It's really extraordinary film. So the main character is female actor. So one female actor is leading the whole story. So but like because I'm telling this is extraordinary, is like there are so many films with the one female actor leading the story released in South Korea, but not many of them success. Because I have no idea why, but like they are all good films, but this one is made like a big success in South Korean film industry. And then we had two sessions for the like a Sydney opening night and Melbourne's opening night, and the audience loved it. Every single person when they exiting the cinema, they told me that it was great film. So there was like kind of what was the Hollywood movie called the driving the car, actually
Drive
like
My Car. Yeah.
Furious. Sorry, what was it? I can't remember the driving action, lots of driving. Furious, Fast and Furious, Fast and Furious. Yeah,
Fast and Furious, right.
yeah, Fast and Furious. That is kind of Korean version of Fast and Furious, and lots of actions in it. Also, as you see, like all the different genres, the Korean cinema having lots of different genres in one film. So there is lots of humors in it. Also, there's some like dramatic story going on. So like, yeah, everyone seems to like enjoy it.
Okay, very good. You're describing some really interesting films. There's one with a title that sounds really compelling, Toxic.
Yeah, that is one of the tragic fact in South Korea. And I actually wanted to make this film as a closing night, but this one is kind of really sad story, and then the revealing the real society of the South Korea. And then I was wondering if audience watch this, they feel really gloomy, and I didn't want to finish my festival with all the gloomy feeling. So that's why I put this one as just a normal schedule. So the story is about toxic from like 1994 to 2011, like over 10 million bottles of humidifier disinfect disinfectant was sold in South Korea, and the consumers were told by the media that using disinfectant is in a humidifier would be good for the common cold, and government certified its safety for everyone use, but it ends up with killing their wives and children. So like the parents who survived from the tragedy, they felt guilty for their families and for child who lost their lives, because they let them use to that kind of material. And then this guy tried to find out who's responsible for that. But Korean government and the company who sold this disinfectant is they don't want to take any responsibility. So this guy tried to track down who's responsible for that. And then there was lots of story in it going on, but like it's definitely a sad story. But because this is telling the also like some dark side of South Korea, and then I wanted to show how the real life in South Korea is to Australian film fans. So this one is also a good movie, and I hope lots of Australian film fans coming to watch this film as well.
Yes, yes, definitely. Sounds like a really strong story. And you mentioned closing night. You've programmed, is it Perhaps Love as the closing?
Yeah, Perhaps Love is like a light romantic comedy style of a movie, but it does have a like kind of really variety story of the love. So it does have some like all different kinds of love they're talking about. So for example, like gay couple love story, also the young teenage guy fall in love with the like early 30s old housewife, and also like divorced couples love, and I think all the type of love has to be respected from the people. And then this movie exactly shows how we respect all the different type of love, and then lots of the humor story, like a humorous story as well. It's comedy in it, and then lots of variety of stories going on. So I definitely recommend the film fans to watch this film. And then I guess they're gonna have happy feeling with this end. Was that closing film in the end of the film festival? So that's why I programmed this film as a closing film.
Sure. No, I absolutely understand. There's one called Homage, which sounds very interesting.
Homage is actually, it's not an Australian premiere film. It's selected for the Cine Film Festival in last June, and then I get to watch the movie, and it was really like calm and serious topic in it. So female film director is tracing down to like all the classic movie of the Korean movie, which is directed by female director in which is I think uh yeah third generation of film, first generation in back into the 60s. So the original movie is made in 1960s in South Korea, and is made by one female director, which is very, very rare. And then she tried to remaster the films. So like the female director in nowadays, the main character tried to remaster the movie again, and then as she's tracing down all the footsteps of the female director in 1960s, she found out lots of sad story and good stories about it, and then it can be motivated for her to keep pursuing her dream of filmmaking. So it does have a very strong message for the especially female audience who pursuing their goals, their dream in their life. And then I wish they could come and have a look this movie and then get some message from the movie.
Okay, interesting. Well, there's one called Hot Blooded, which sounds very interesting.
Yeah, Hot Blooded is like noir film, and then the gangsters involved and it's based on my hometown called Busan, and it's about all like guys like gang fights and gun like a knife stabbing and lots of blood, but like there is a bond between gangsters and also betrayal. Every story that could happens in gang story, and then it does the film has all of them. We screened it last night, and then all the audience loved it. But because I programmed this film is I want to show the specific atmosphere of the Busan through the gang story in Busan, which is because I was fell into my hometown, which is Busan. But my mistake was because to feel the film 100% is they supposed to recognize, they're supposed to understand the Busan dialect, so they can get into film more. But because Australian film fans can only read subtitles, so I would say like they can feel only like 60 or 70% of film. So that was my my mistake, and it was really, really shame.
Okay. Oh, well, there you are. All right. I'll just mention one more film, and then I'll get you to say any others that are highlights. In Front of Your Face.
Yeah, In Front of Your Face. I'm pretty sure there are lots of director Hong Sang-soo fans in Australia, and this one is definitely the film that they love. As director Hong Sang-soo's film style, there is not dramatic story going on. There is not dramatic like cinematography is going on, but because of our ordinary life, he tried to have in the film, and then everyone think this is kind of my life. So if I give it the brief detail of the like In Front of Your Face is Sang, which is the main character, has never lived in a high-rise apartment, and then she wonders how sister Jung-suk can live at the height every day. A few days ago, she kind of burst into stay with her sister, and she's now becoming accustomed to life in Korea. But it's still hard to live there because she's been living in America for a long time, and she can't actually get into the Korean style of life. But like when she meets the director who tried to make the film with her, and then she now get into the Korean life in the society. And it's really calm and like stay still movie. But I think some of movie fans in Australia would find some interesting from the movie as well.
Yes, no, he's a very well-known director, so
Yeah.
that's terrific. Well, that's a snapshot of the Korean Film Festival this year. Is there any other film or that you wanted to mention, Francis?
As a film programmer, I shouldn't have my bias because I should treat all of like films as a same. But yeah, I would like to recommend one film that called In Our Prime. And I'm not really sure you everyone knows the Old Boy, the movie called Old Boy. So the main character from Old Boy, Chan Min-sik, is playing this movie called In Our Prime as a main actor. So the Chan Min-sik is his name is Hak Sung in the movie, and he's defected from North Korea, but he used to be like a very genius mathematician in North Korea, but he defected for better life to South Korea, and then he's working as a security guard in like prestige private high school. But there was a student who almost gives up his mathematics because he doesn't do very well. But like and then the student asked him to teach him the mathematics, and then this guy and the student and the Haksung gotta like find out different life. I mean, they used to live like a really boring life, but as they started teaching and learning mathematics each other, and then their life is totally changed. The reason I picked this film to recommend to Australian fans is because the story, not because of just the storyline or like cinematography, but this film has got a really strong message. So Korea is one of the most competitive society, and then everyone is compete each other, and then they always like people try to find the answer in their life in their exam and test. But like this message, this film gives us the message saying like finding the answer is important, but identifying the problem is more important. And also the process of to find the answer shouldn't be neglected, it shouldn't be ignored as well. So if anyone is pursuing the goal and then like so hard to compete in their life, please come to see this movie, and then you will get some lifetime message, and then you will realize how you will find out the way you live.
Okay, sounds good. And
Yeah.
so if people want more details, do they just go to coffea.com.au?
Yes, that's right.
That's the website for more details. Yeah. It's been a pleasure talking to you. We've been speaking to Francis Lee, who's the programmer for the Korean Film Festival, Koffia, K-O-F-F-I-A. And thanks so much, Francis, for talking with me.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.